Hey, hey, hey. Time for another Out of This World story from our space. Sometimes skeletons in the closet reveal themselves, and sometimes we just have to bust down that door and find them ourselves. Today on our space, we clean sweep. Up first, go in for the kill. 9 years ending with infidelity, stuck halfway across the world. I know I shouldn't feel it, but I'm just embarrassed by this. My only friends are back home and I feel embarrassed to even talk about it. I think I will just tell them I'm getting divorced. I was with my wife for 9 years, married for nearly 2. Found out she had an affair and tried to conceal it. Fortunately, no kids and no mortgage, just a dog. She gave reasons mainly being my health, heart, which went through a big scare in late 2020 and hadn't been great since. I am a fit young guy, so it came as a surprise. I could still perform normally in bed, but it had left me some days where I would be unable to stand or walk for long. I understand the burden this would have on a young couple, but I at least wanted a clean break. What shocked me was I discovered she had called this guy to apologize about the fallout. He was a friend of her brother, and her brother immediately cut him out of his life. I hadn't asked him to do that, but I felt that was kind of him to have my back. She's asked me to leave her brother out of it, which I've since respected. He had offered at the time to confront his friend to ask for everything, but instead, I confronted her. She's also asked me to leave my mother-in-law out, which is also hard because I have a lot of respect for her, and it would feel weird to not say goodbye and thank you. I had a weak moment and suggested that although we should split, maybe there's a small chance we could work things out in the future if we both were able to sort ourselves out. She said no, and referred to my reaction to the whole thing, and that it was unlike me. I had been beyond rage and continued suspicions after the phone call that she was going to step out again while I was still here. I mean, this kind of felt like a pretty normal reaction. Of course, I would never be violent. The tricky part is because of my health, I can't really see myself flying home, 14 plus hours, then a few hours drive. I'm looking for a place now so that I can really push to fix my health and fly home. As embarrassing as it is, I'm very sad about having to leave our dog. She's old, so definitely won't be able to fly, so I need to say my goodbyes to her, and that's very hard. It's painful that I won't be with her for her final few years, or be there to help her. I found a few places and will probably be moving next week. Feels all very alien because my wife was my best friend and I don't really have anyone in this country. Thanks for reading. No, not the dog. That's probably the most heartbreaking thing. Screw her. I'm sorry she tried to use you as an excuse for her own choices. She should have been there to support you rather than playing around on you. And I think if you want to talk to your brother-in-law and mother-in-law, then you should. It shouldn't matter what she says. They've been a part of your life too. Update. Caught her sexting as I'm leaving. Told mother-in-law. I'm separating from my unfaithful wife and have a few apartments lined up. I'm in her country and won't be able to get to my home country for a while. I run up against a wall whenever we talked about it, and she still hasn't expressed any remorse. We had a dinner for her grandma, and before we left, she told me not to get any ideas that this means we can fix things. I mean, no crap, but thought that was especially cold. Anyway, I caught her sexting her friend, who I had been on friendly terms with before. I made it very, very clear that before I leave, there should be a boundary where neither of us go outside the marriage until I'm out of the house. She had agreed, and the whole process to move would have taken 2 weeks tops. Anyway, I let her know my thoughts, then I told her mother everything. I'm not going to be seen as the a-hole who walked out on my wife. It's beyond embarrassing for both of us that she couldn't wait 2 weeks. Now she wants me gone tomorrow and is furious that I snooped to find out. Told her, no thanks, I'll take however long I need. On a positive note, now at least this has given me clarity to move on. Before I had it in my mind that there's some distant possibility we'd be able to fix things after time apart. But this is obviously beyond repair. I'm kind of excited to give dating a go after nearly a decade. Update. Opportunity to include a fair partner in divorce filing, essentially suing them. My wife and I live in a religious country where it's technically illegal for a man to have an affair with another man's wife. It's rarely criminally prosecuted, but civilly at the divorce filing, it is enforced. Essentially, at filing you can include them as a third party and seek compensation. I know morally and rationally it makes no sense. My wife was the one who committed to me, not him. It's kind of backwards implying that a woman has less will than the man, which is obviously untrue. On the other hand, I don't really care. I knew this guy and he had an affair with her even when I was literally under the same roof asleep in another room. Then, after I texted him to piss off while I leave, warning him of this legality, I found out they continued communication. We can't file until early next year, as you can't do so this early into the marriage here. I'm strongly considering including him. Thoughts are welcome. On one hand, like mentioned, it was my wife's betrayal, not his. Plus, maybe it's better to just move on and not drag things out when we file. On the other hand, it would be nice to have some sort of vengeance, and to receive compensation for the financial and emotional expenses they both caused. Let's see what the community thinks. Astroflarus says, my husband's affair partner was aware of me the whole time and still actively pursued him for nearly 20 years under the guise of friendship. She made no promises to me, sure, but she assisted in the destruction of my family. I call it emotional murder. She knew we had children too. If I could sue her, I absolutely would. Mysterious Teaching 30 chimes in. The law is the law, my friend. You'd be foolish to leave compensation on the table. Think of it as a way to get back the money you're paying your legal representation and all the time and effort you wasted dealing with a person of his caliber. 02201970A says, if it makes you feel better, go for your pound of flesh. The old switcheroo says, can't speak to the legality here, as I'm in Canada, which is all no-fault divorces. But if given the opportunity, I'd 100% have gone after my ex-wife's affair partner in civil court. David Walker 0009 chimes in, screw that guy, I would if I could. Vague Media wants to say, you have an opportunity to sue the other person if you don't use it now. Your future generations will not get the same privilege like you, so please do. And don't say affair partner has no part in this. Morally, a person is obligated to respect a relationship or marriage. He is just scammed to go after marriage person. I think there's a lot of wisdom within these comments. If you feel you want to, you should, especially if that means you'll be appropriately compensated. She's made it clear that she doesn't give two hecks about you or about repairing what was broken. Why not just go for the kill? Thoughts? Next, where's the dustbuster when you need it? Uninviting my friend and his wife for Christmas dinner after discovering she slept with my husband. 11 years ago, my 42 female husband, Will, 44 male, had an affair with a younger woman. He admitted to it after she told him that she was pregnant, though it ended in a miscarriage. Until recently, I had no idea who she was, as he wouldn't say who she was. I've been working with Spencer, 41 male, for nearly 17 years, and we are best friends. There are no secrets between us, or at least that's what I thought. He's married to Eleanor, 33 female. They've been together for 9 years, married for 8. It has recently come out that Eleanor is the woman Will slept with. It came out because I had wrongly thought that Will was cheating again, and he countered with that it was possible for him to be friends with women and not sleep with them, as he was friends with Eleanor and hadn't slept with her again. He then admitted that Eleanor had been the one that he slept with. I was hurt that he hadn't said anything before we had become good friends with her, and allowing Spencer to get involved with a woman who was happy to sleep with married men. When I saw Spencer at lunch the following week, I told him about Eleanor and Will. Spencer wasn't shocked at what I told him. He already knew. He had known for 9 years. Eleanor had told him after the first time we had a double date. She was single at the time, and she had no idea Will was married. As far as Spencer was concerned, it was more Will that was at fault than Eleanor, but I see them as equally being at fault. Spencer said that he hadn't told me because he didn't see the point in opening up old wounds, as we had worked past Will cheating. Eleanor hadn't said anything for the same reason. I sent Eleanor an angry text telling her that I knew about her cheating with my husband and that I didn't want her coming around anymore. I told her that I didn't trust her and that she should have told me that she slept with my husband. Eleanor just replied with, I understand, and I'm sorry for any hurt that I've caused you and your family. She's not responded to any other message I've sent her about wanting to know more about her cheating with my husband. We were meant to be having Spencer, Eleanor, and their kids around for Christmas, as it's our turn to host. Today, I told Spencer that I don't want Eleanor to come and have uninvited her. Spencer and the kids are still invited. He has said that if Eleanor is not welcome, then they will not be coming and thinks I am being unreasonable. He also said he knows I'm upset, but hopes that I can move past it. Will is upset that I've uninvited them, as he thinks it will ruin Christmas for our kids not getting to see their friends as planned. Plus, we have far too much food in for a family of 4. Will thinks I'm overreacting as I was fine with Eleanor before I found out. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to have Eleanor at our Christmas? I just don't think I can see her anymore, knowing she is the one who my husband cheated with? Edit. In regards to the miscarriage, yes, this is true, not a lie from Will. Eleanor has told me herself that she had a miscarriage when she was 22. Not long after I posted this, Spencer called me. He told me to stop messaging Eleanor as it's stressing her out. She's pregnant with their third child. She hasn't responded yet as she knew I would be upset and it would stress her. Spencer told me that he and Eleanor had chosen not to tell me about Eleanor being the affair partner because they didn't want to cause issues in my marriage. But they had told Will to tell me. Will had told them I knew. Spencer also said that Eleanor had been resistant to see Will and I again after she told Spencer what she had done. But when Will told him I knew, she felt better about becoming friends with me. Spencer has said that he and Eleanor need space and that he won't be answering my messages unless they are work-related. Let's check in with the community, shall we? Adrenaline Anxiety says, not the a-hole. Your husband has had 11 years to move on from this. Spencer and Eleanor have had 9 years to process this. You have not. You have just been sideswiped and betrayed again by knowing that the woman you trusted and befriended and trusted your husband with is also the woman he cheated on you with. All three of them have failed you by keeping this information from you 9 years ago when she first realized. I'm not going to blame her for the affair if she didn't know he was married when it happened, but she did know he was married when she met you, and she and Spencer together decided not to tell you and to build a friendship. I don't see a comeback from this for you, Spencer and Eleanor, unfortunately. My comments on your marriage are also pretty negative. Spencer is obviously not going to keep coming around and bringing his kids around whilst his wife is banned, and I don't think you're blaming her for more than him, or your husband anyway, as all three betrayed you in their omission. Onos and People says, I'm really not understanding all the you're the a-hole judgments. The fact that all three of them have moved past the cheating is irrelevant. This is brand new information for you, and the fact remains that chances are, if you had known it was Eleanor your husband slept with, you wouldn't have pursued a friendship with her, either her or her husband in the first place. Your husband is absolutely the one at fault for cheating. Eleanor didn't even know he was married, after all, but all three have deceived you by not telling you the truth. Only you can make the decision as to whether you can continue your friendship with either of them. And in my opinion, Christmas is going to be too soon to make that decision, not the a-hole. No, you're not the a-hole here, OP. Everything was just swept under the rug and people were pretending like nothing happened and acting like one big happy family. You can't just go on pretending. And why keep the trash around? She has no right to be around you or the family. They both made their choices long ago and have been sweeping it away for long enough. Now it's time to dust off those skeletons in the closet. Update 1, December 13th, 2022. 11 years ago, my 42 female husband, Will, 44 male, had an affair with a 42-year-old. She fell pregnant, which is why he told me at the time, but it ended in a miscarriage. With the help of therapy, I have forgiven Will. The 22-year-old has turned out to be Eleanor, now 33 female, and she is married to Spencer, 41 male, who is my best friend of almost 17 years. Spencer and Eleanor have been together 9 years and married for 8. Spencer has known that Eleanor was the one who slept with Will since the first time Will and I met her on a double date. Eleanor told Spencer that she recognized Will and told him what she had done. She hadn't known at the time that he was married. Spencer and Eleanor had made the decision to not tell me as Spencer had seen the turmoil it put me through the last time, and he didn't want to cause issues in my marriage or to reopen old wounds. They had told Will to tell me, but he told them I knew. I had no idea until recently. When I found out, I angrily messaged Eleanor telling her that I knew everything and that I didn't want her coming around anymore. I told her that I didn't trust her and that she should have told me that she slept with my husband. She replied with, I understand, and I'm sorry for any hurt I've caused you and your family. She's not responded to any other message. Spencer has since told me that to stop and leave her alone as she's pregnant with their third child, and I'm stressing her out. The cheek of it? I'm stressed out in finding out she slept with my husband and that her and Spencer have been playing nice to my face for the last 9 years. Spencer had said that Eleanor had been resistant to see Will and I again after she told him what she had done, but when Will told them I knew, she felt better about becoming friends with me. Yet neither of them thought to check with me that I knew. They just took what he said at face value. He has said that both he and Eleanor need space, and he won't be answering any more messages unless they are work-related for a while. He was meant to be my friend. I have confided things in Spencer that I haven't with anyone else. We were very close, and he lied to my face for years. Spencer knew about my marriage issues when Will cheated. I opened up to him and exposed myself to him. He knew, and he didn't say anything to me. He kept it to himself, and I don't feel that he is remorseful for what he's done. It feels like he thinks that Eleanor is the victim in all of this. While I'm mad at him, I'd like to try and repair the friendship. I just want him to understand what he's done and why I'm hurting. Though I don't think I want to continue a friendship with Eleanor, not after she has lied straight to my face for the last 9 years. Let's see what the community thinks. Meb WBD starts us off. I think it's clear you are angry at the wrong people. Just like with the affair, your husband lied again. Why are you still with this man? First time he lies, shame on him. Second time, shame on you. This is a pattern and you are allowing it. You can go to therapy with him every day until you guys die. He's still going to be the same liar and has proven that he will continue to be a liar. Now you've pushed away your best friend. You have a right to feel betrayed. You don't have the right to take it out on the wrong people. White Angel 854 says, so your husband lied to you and her. You said she didn't know he was married. He lied again, telling her you know it's her he had cheated you with. She didn't want to meet with your husband. I'm not surprised she hasn't checked with you. Why would she come to you to open old wounds? And after all the lying, you still harass her instead of going to the person who consistently lied to you and her? I think if Spencer can't understand why you're hurting or why you don't want her around, then he's not really a friend and hasn't been. My advice? Ditch him. You don't need people like that around. Update 2, December 16th, 2022. I, 42 female, have made an appointment with a lawyer to start the process of divorcing my husband, 44 male. The appointment isn't until the new year, as that is the only time they could fit me in. We've been married for 14 years. 11 years ago, he had an affair but wouldn't tell me who the 22-year-old was. I thought we had worked past that with therapy, which we were going to restart in the new year. I had forgiven him, and I thought that he was being honest and truthful with me. It turns out that he had not been as honest as he should have been. I've recently found out that the wife of my friend was his affair partner, and they have all known for the past 9 years. He had also lied to them, telling them that I knew so that they wouldn't tell me. After having done some digging, I checked his phone when he went to bed, as we have an open phone policy, and discovered that he had been texting the woman he had cheated on me with, complimenting her, saying he loves her company, forgets about the rest of the world when he sees her, and wants to see her more. To her credit, she's not responded to any of his messages, not even to tell him to stop, so I suspect she has blocked him. These messages only go back a few weeks. Before that, the only messages he had sent her was asking advice over a present for my birthday. He starts the text thread saying that he's my husband and he got her number from me and hopes that it's okay that he's texting her, so I don't think there were any other messages before that. I had posted on Reddit about it and it opened my eyes. My friend and his wife are not to blame. Will, my husband, is to blame. We are currently sleeping separately, though this does happen regularly when he works at the night shift, so it's not unusual for our children to see him sleeping in the spare room. We have 3 children, 8 male, 6 female, and 4 female, and I worry about telling them that Mommy and Daddy are splitting. Both Will and I come from broken homes, and we never wanted that for our children. We wanted them to have a stable home, but it's clear that this is not going to work. While one of us had worked to save our marriage, the other had not. I want to tell the children because I honestly don't think I can play happy families with him on Christmas Day. I also don't want them to hate me for the fact that our family is imploding because of their father's lies and deception. Let's see how the community thinks. Lil Ms. B says, I think it's a really bad idea to tell your children before Christmas. Just imagine how that will feel to young kids. They're really not going to understand and it will just feel painful. I'm going to be blunt and tell you to suck it up. Give your best happy family performance for the holidays because it is what is best for your children. I also think it might be good for you to talk to a children's counselor to find out the best way to talk to them after the holidays. King Thunderflash chimes in, I would tell your kids after Christmas. Don't want to put that on them right before the holidays. I'm happy, OP, that you finally saw him for the man he really is. I hope things get so much better for you. We are here if you ever need advice or anything. You have to do what's best for you, and no one should be pretending on Christmas. Kids notice things. Kids just know when something's off. It's not right to lie or to try to hide things anymore. Remember how you felt when you finally uncovered all those dust bunnies they had been hiding? Yeah, imagine your kids finding out later on that you were pretending the whole time. Not good. Time to unleash, OP. What do you think? Do you think OP is being dramatic? Do you think Spencer did the right thing by not saying anything? Let us know below. And thank you for joining us today on Our Space. Like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. We'd hate for you to miss out. If you want to listen to more stories from me, check out our lounge where I feature a larger variety of non-cheating related stories. See you there.